Fear of pregnancy and childbirth, which is sometimes known as tokophobia, is directly causing many young women to avoid giving birth or becoming a parent. Exposure to negative, graphic or traumatic birth stories from friends, family, social media are apparently just a few of the things behind it. I would imagine economics have probably got a lot to do with it for some people as well as whether you can afford to. But here we are, two fertile young ladies.
Yes,
here.
very fertile.
What do you think, Kaye? She rearranges her hair over her breasts. Lovely. Thank you.
No, false breast.
I'm definitely not afraid, so I definitely wouldn't come under the phobia aspect at all.
Right.
I think I'm very aware of the realities. I sometimes worry that I'm maybe hyper aware of things that we maybe don't need to be shown in such graphic detail. Like maybe in your generation, there's a fine line between having open conversations, and that's why social media is good, and going, by the way, this could happen, that could happen. But sometimes, if I end up, my algorithm doesn't really serve me a lot of pregnancy content, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
But sometimes, if it does, I end up watching some things that I'm like, whoa, like
what sort of things on TikTok?
Like people will film, like, you know, they'll film pretty much their childbirth.
Yeah.
They'll, you know, walking around in postpartum, whatever their condition is. You know, the realities of being with a newborn, and it can be obviously quite dark for some people, quite isolating, and you're getting kind of a snapshot because obviously at the end of the day, Instagram, TikTok is content. It's like people want to engage you, so you know sometimes
catch you in 3 seconds,
and then sometimes it's hard then to, you know, not be a little bit like, oh, I don't know if I've got that in me. But I do have so many mum friends, so many of my friends are mums, and I see the reality, and I get the true reality. And they're like, look, there's hard days, but it's not all like that.
You've got perspective from them. 'Cause you don't get that on the social media.
No, like the balance of like, yeah, you might have, there's a day when it's awful, there's a day when it's amazing, but it's obviously when that child comes into the world, you love it more than anything ever. Like, I love that you know, can't even describe.
Not always.
Not always.
Not
which
always.
Is also
That's the other
scary.
thing. It can take some real time. Because everything, your body, your hormones, everything can shift.
So long.
So even that we have to be careful of, don't we? Of like saying you will immediately have this rush of love.
Yeah,
I think
childbirth is an event, isn't it? And obviously there can be, you know, some people have
Anything
difficult
can
birth.
happen.
But then you've got a lifetime. I mean, that's the bit to really look at.
I have such an issue with this, like, oh, I want a baby, or are you not going to have a baby? I'm like, but it is so much more than just a baby. You know, it's like someone for life. You need to try and mould this human being to be, you know, like a good part of society, and you know, and to be a healthy, rounded person. It's a huge amount of responsibility.
And even when you've just had one, you can't believe that you've been just given it,
and
then you've got to keep it alive.
Yeah.
It's quite a shock when you first have it.
In this direction, I'm not asking you overly personal questions, but I mean,
just know none of you here are selling it to me. You can't drink for 9 months.
Your job, Nadia.
You get cankles, allegedly.
Oh, you should have seen my cankles.
Were they big and bold?
Goodness, I looked like Dumbo.
Yeah.
Again, it's just not.
But I didn't get cankles.
But the thing is, apparently, your children are your karma. Right, is what I've heard.
Is that what your mum told you?
Yeah, and I feel like I've served my purpose well. But I just think, what if you go through all that and then it pops out and you don't even like it very much? And you've got to look after it forever. It's not just when they're 18 and they have to leave home. No, it's forever.
But I think this is really sensible thinking.
Yeah, I think you have to be very intentional
because
about
we
this.
can't just completely guarantee that everybody is going to love their child the minute it comes out, or even like them. And I think that's very difficult. There'll be probably women sitting now watching us that may be really struggling with that. I know I did in the beginning with my baby. So to have all these thoughts is to be mature and not to just like, oh, I'll just get a puppy, just have a baby.
You're right, Nadia. You need to have like a 360 conversation about it, absolutely. But if you are, you know, getting most of your information from a very limited social media video and it's showing you very graphic stuff, it's not giving you perspective, and that's what you need. You need a bit of perspective.
But this is why it's so good that they're both saying, but what after that? What about when they go, if you don't like them? What if they go and then they go at 18, and then these are good conversation to have with yourself.
The good thing about getting to my age, and I've not had children yet, is I can speak to my mum friends and get like honesty as well about, you know, I think one of the things that's good, that the myth of like you can have it all at every single moment is kind of being debunked. And my friends who have had kids will be really honest with me and say, anyone that says to you, you can have a baby and, like, maintain the work rate that I have right now consistently through pregnancy, through postpartum, is not telling you the truth. Because I film basically 6 days a week at the moment. I finish all hours of the night. You know, it's impossible. And also, you say you're not the same person necessarily once you've had a baby. I don't want to leave my 6-week-old baby, maybe. You don't know how you're going to feel.
Could you see yourself as a mum in the future?
I can, and I think they are part of my future, but I don't...
You're not ready. You're not ready, and you're still young.
And you can't rush it. Although I do think on social media it is quite nice sometimes to have those videos for people that have been through traumatic births or going through...
they're not alone.
Because, they're not alone, but don't show it to me.
Well, I think that's the important thing. Like, I remember Jenny Powell years ago saying to some loose women that she felt almost let down by women that hadn't told her just how tough it would be.
There's two sides,
and there's two sides. So what I tend to do is, if somebody asks me, a bit like when a child, I don't overshare. Like, I'll keep answering the questions for as long as somebody asks me. And every birth is so different. You know, you could just pop it like shelling peas,
right, though, isn't it? I mean, we had this conversation when we were at the stage of having kids. You know, how much information do you want? And I don't know, if you're only sort of seeing really graphic stuff from social media, then I don't think that is a particularly good balance. I mean, I had elective caesareans because of some weird thing going on with my anatomy. Well, the first one was an emergency, and the next one was elective.
But also, as well, like the misogyny around having to justify what method of bringing your child into the world you use. Like, you know, the way people undermine that is crazy.
But that's kind of like everything with women, isn't it? Whatever you do, there's going to be some people that... I mean, you know, I've had a lot, because I had mine at home, and there were, you know, that I had a lot of people saying to me, "Are you mad? You know, God, it's so dangerous," and then vice versa. If
was it on purpose?
It was on purpose.
On purpose.
Twice. I didn't even have a gin and tonic.
No! You just raw dogged.
I raw dogged it, baby. And the second time, I didn't have a midwife until last...
I take it you wouldn't be raw dogging.
No, I will be... Look, we had this interesting conversation earlier. Like, even if you have the Rolls Royce of births, the reality of giving birth is so animalistic. It doesn't matter where you do it.
Have you done a shopping list, ever, on how you
I was with my gynaecologist a couple of years ago, and we were talking about fertility, and I said, let's just price it up then. If I want the the big room at the Portland, or the rest of what we're talking. It's not cheap, girls. It's not cheap.
And at the end of the day, you're an animal.
At the end of the day, you know, I'd rather get a new 4x4, to be honest.
Are you and Ella on the same page, by the way?
I think now, at this point in time, we like to give kids back, and we like to just be able to go on holiday when we want and have a peaceful holiday and go to a pub when she's off season and stay there all night. Like, I think that's great, but maybe in the future...
Who's off season?
Ella. That sounded like a dog, didn't it?
Oh, football season.
Yeah.
Not fertility.
Sorry.
She's not sporty.
No, I should have actually explained that. Yeah.
Oh.
Did you actually not know that?
Was there a butt coming?
But I think maybe in the future that will change, and maybe we'll both want kids, and I hope we don't, but maybe we will, and that is a bridge.
And you're 26.
Oh, baby. Ages.
I wasn't thinking about it for 1 second at 26.